today's trick is going to be crooked grinds to fakie on a mini ramp, or you could take it to something bigger, but it's easiest to learn on something small. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it, and it's a fairly simple trick, but it actually takes quite a bit of time and practice to learn. So hopefully this video helps you guys out a little bit, and check out the trick tip. For foot positioning on a crooked grind, what you want to do is you want to have most of your weight on your front foot. So you're going to have your front foot on your nose quite a bit, and your back leg is going to be somewhere in the rear bolts in that area, a little bit on the tail. It doesn't really matter, just so it helps keep your balance when you go up for the crooked grind. The key thing to remember to grinding on a crooked grind, first of all, balance is key. If you can keep over the nose when you're on the coping and keep your balance good, then you're going to go back in okay. But in order to grind this, you're going to come up kind of like you would for a 50-50 grind, or any grind for that matter. You want to come up, see that board? That's at like a 45-degree angle. And when you come up at an angle like that, that's going to give you speed, and that's going to shoot you into your grind across the coping. So when you come up, you can watch my video and I'll slow-mo it for you, but I'll try to explain it technically for you. You're going to have your front foot on your nose, and when your truck gets up to the coping, you're going to do a little nose wheelie and shift all your weight onto your nose. And since you're coming up at a 45-degree angle, once you lean on top of your nose, that truck is going to hug the coping and just going to continue on into a grind. And when you start to slow down, what you're going to do is just transfer your weight back in like you would. It's like a 5-0, only with your front foot, and you're going the opposite direction. So just transfer your weight and go back in. Alright, so as with all tricks on a mini ramp or any type of trick that involves coping, the last thing you want to do is hang up. So the best way to avoid hanging up when you're doing a crooked grind is to make sure that this part of your wheel and this section of your truck is touching the coping, and that's it. Your nose can touch, but you just want this section touching the coping, because when it's sitting there like that, it's not going to clip, because this wheel right here is hanging over the coping. Because if you're grinding it like that, that's going to grind fine, but when you go back in, your front truck may clip like that when you go back in. So it makes your crooked grind look better if you have the wheel positioning like so, and also it makes it way harder to hang up as you go back in, because all you have to do is pretty much just lean in. When your back wheel is like that, you're going to have to put more pressure on your front foot, and it just gives you more things to do and think about, and that's the last thing you need when you're trying to accomplish a trick, because there's a lot of stuff going on. So just remember to have your wheel right here touching the coping, and your body kind of is already over into the transition as you're going back in, so then you won't hang up.